Hello everyone, Daz, Monuments for UK Veterans of the American Civil War, and you join us here in Parliament Square, and as you can see Abraham Lincoln is behind us. Also we have co-founder Gina with us, and this is our first stop in walking in the footsteps of the London branch of US Civil War veterans and John Davis.
So the statue of Abraham Lincoln is just there, and we've got a couple of pictures of the London branch in the early 1920s with Abraham Lincoln laying wreaths. But this was the picture. It really confused me because I was thinking what you see there is not behind us now. But if you kind of walk around this way, and if you're clever, you can work out that the building in the background there, the windows match the building behind us. So, yeah, so a bit of detective work, but we like to gather the facts as part of the monumental project. You know, it's 100-year-old cold case that we're trying to investigate because we are now the voices of those long gone veterans. We want to get it right. But yeah, it's the fine detail that we want to kind of look at.
Okay everyone, so you join us at our next location here, walking in the footsteps of the US Civil War veterans, the London branch that is, and John Davis and everything. And behind me you can see George Washington, and Gina's going to tell you a little bit more about this location and its importance to the London branch of Civil War veterans.
Yeah, so there's a great photograph we got from 1921 where Arthur William Fraser Smith he became the Honourable Secretary of the London branch, and in July 1921, when this statue was laid here, presented to the people of Great Britain and Ireland from the Commonwealth of Virginia, Arthur and some of the London branch veterans, John Locke, for example, he was another London branch veteran, came down here and laid a wreath. So there's a great picture, and hopefully we can put it on the video from the Spear newspaper in July 1921 of Arthur laying the wreath here on behalf of the London branch veterans. What I like about it, and I guess it needs to be verified, is that George Washington claimed that he would never apparently set foot on the soil of England ever again. And according to the accounts that I've read, and I will probably fact check it, is that the soil on which this statue is laid came from Virginia. So we'll get that verified.
Okay everyone, so we've come to our next location, walking in the footsteps of John Davis and the London branch of Civil War veterans, and we're in Montreal Place, and behind us you can see a house known as Somerset House, and I'm now going to pass you over to Gina.
So today's really important for me because as part of my ongoing research for future books and about the London branch is for me trying to find out where they came in 1917. Now, where we are right now at Montreal Place, back in 1917, the YMCA created for the American Expeditionary Forces the Eagle Hut YMCA. Now it only lasted several years before obviously these buildings around us were put in place, but you have this iconic picture of the London branch of American Civil War veterans walking across from Somerset House. In it you can see John Dow, Medal of Honor recipient, Maurice Wagg, Seth Herrick, Arthur William Fraser Smith, who was the Honourable Secretary after the passing of John Davis early in 1917. Now, I wasn't sure where these three arches were, but now I get a real sense of what happened that day back in 1917. So one can assume they came across, and right here is where the YMCA Eagle Hut building was. And we're going to go, hopefully in a moment, to look at a monument to that as we walk in the footsteps of these American Civil War veterans.
Okay everyone, so you now join us in our next location, and we're in the Strand pretty much, but we're behind the location where we was just a minute ago, and next to a place called Bush House, and Gina is going to explain where we are.
Okay, so this is another really important and iconic place for me on part of our walking in the footsteps of the London branch of American Civil War Veterans Association. trail. So we are at Bush House, but around 1917, 1918, none of this was here. But what was here was the Eagle Hut YMCA, which was built for Pershing's American Expeditionary Forces around that time. It's a place to come for a bit of moral support, for something to eat, etc. So they celebrated Thanksgiving here. Some of the women of some of the embassy staff served and worked and volunteered here. Now, it only lasted for a couple of years, but fortunately there is a monument and a memorial to that, the Eagle Hut, and you can see here this iconic picture here. So I can't give you an exact location of where this building was, but above it, it did say the Eagle Hut YMCA. We got this picture courtesy of the Grand Army Memorial Museum in Springfield, Illinois, and in it you can see Maurice Wagg, James Henry Cleggett, who I've written about, Arthur William Fraser Smith. You've got a lot of familiar faces of the London branch of American Civil War veterans in that one. In this one you can see Ambassador Page, and I believe that's his wife. He's meeting James Stamford Kirk. I believe that's John Locke. You've got William Blasey, Joseph Nash, John Dow shaking hands, and in the background, whilst you can't see him, is James Henry Cleggett. But a really, really interesting photograph. So yeah, so that's the Eagle Hut in 1917. No longer here, but we're remembering it today.
Okay, everyone, so we're in our next location and Gina is going to explain.
Okay, so this place is, for me, the holiest of holiest places on our trail today, because in September 1910, on the 20th, on a Tuesday afternoon, 28 American Civil War veterans answered the call of John Davis and came here to Gedling Street in Bermondsey, to this old railway arch, where they inaugurated the London branch of American Civil War veterans. And to think that my great-great-grandfather came to this location more than 100 years ago is pretty awesome. So we've got a picture of the inauguration, and you can see the archway just up there. So you've got John Davis, Seth Herrick imaged, and of course all the veterans depicted there. Somewhere in that picture is George Denham, my great-great-grandfather. So it's quite a special place to come here. And obviously Darren being co-founder of Monuments for UK Veterans of the American Civil War Association, for us coming here was a must, because I feel as though you and I are carrying the baton of these old London branch veterans forward 100 years later. So yeah, it's to be in what John Davis called the telescope. It was really weird.
Yeah,
and we're drinking.
And we've got a beer as well. So
Bermondsey Pale Ale.
all I'm going to say is cheers to the London branch of Civil War veterans and John Davis. Thank you for all the hard work that you did back in the day, and we're going to carry on that work and doing what we're doing. So cheers.
Cheers.